So hello, today we're gonna visit the Birka Viking Village in Stockholm on a day trip from the city center. We booked our tickets yesterday. You have to book it online or you can buy it from the pier. The day trip takes roughly around 8 hours, so you have to be here in the port by 10. At 10 the boat leaves. It takes 2 hours to get to the island of Birka, and then you have roughly 3.5 hours to spend on the island, visit the museum, see how the Vikings used to live, and then 2 hours back. So today is kind of a cloudy weather, not the best weather for visiting any island in the Stockholm archipelago, but we're gonna try to make it our best trip. We are really excited to see the Vikings. I have my own Viking right here. And actually each July for 3 weeks there's an association that tries to bring back to life the Viking lifestyle, and today is actually the last day of those 3 weeks, so that's why I wanted to go today. There was another boat going there, so there are a lot of boats here right next to the city hall inside a big departure point for a lot of boats here in Stockholm. So yeah, 2 hours to go. What else are you going to do for 2 hours? So 2 hours later, we are here on Birka, the Viking island. We took, as I said, the tour with the tour company. Actually, that's the only way to get here. And the tour also includes entrance for the museum. There's a museum here, Viking Museum. And also a guided tour of the island and the archaeological area, which is not far away from here. And meanwhile, so we missed our first tour because we went to the bathroom, but there are 3 tours that they offer during your stay here. Like there are 3 tours, 3 hours on the island, and we're gonna visit the museum first and see what they have inside. I hear they have some cool findings from the archaeological site, and then we're gonna visit the village that they have right now. So during the 3 weeks in July, they have Vikings, like people acting like a Viking, so basically a reenactment of a Viking village. It started raining right now, but that will never stop the Vikings, so I'm guessing they're still at their village. Let us go before it starts pouring rain. And also I have my Viking with me here. And Eddie actually was saying that he really wants to see the Vikings. Wherever we go, we are very eager to see the Viking old settlements and such.
It's the raiding and the plundering and the thieving. We come from a land that is famous for its thieves, so we've come to arguably the most famous thieves in all of history, the Vikings. So it's very interesting. Plus the beards.
Also, if you want to take your pet here, you can. I can see a lot of people brought their dogs. It's really nice. It's also very kids friendly, so there are a lot of families with small children and toddlers and
What did the Vikings really do besides being farmers? They became international thieves.
They were fishermen
and thieves.
And okay.
Hey, you're gonna hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can almost promise you.
Okay.
Otherwise, we go close.
Okay, yeah, we go so we can hit.
Okay, your toes against my toes. We will see what to do. Hold here to your face. The cheek. You have to hold here. Hold here. Touch your face. Hands up. Yeah, sorry. I want. Okay, now you can release. Okay, now you're aiming in the middle.
So it's time to join the guided tour, and it started raining, and this is one big group.
Like horses, for example, if warriors are very with the horses, it's common, or it could happen. There were about 1,000 people living here in Birka, and like I said before, there were about 5,000 graves, which doesn't really add up with 1,000 inhabitants, really. So there have actually been people coming from other countries and cities here just. But this was so an important meeting place. This was the biggest meeting point at this time during the Viking Age. So a pro guided tour is that all Vikings were Scandinavians, but not all Scandinavians were Vikings. Just so we keep them separated. Of the Black Earth, we have found a lot of good stuff, as I told you, but we've also found stuff that can point to how people were actually living their lives here in Birka. We found a lot of combs, both for your beard and for your hair, because combs were very, very valuable during this time, and far from everyone had their own comb. And we've actually also found small cases where you can put your comb inside just to keep it safe, and so it doesn't get destroyed, more or less, because it was so valuable to a person. But we've also found tweezers, and they look like tweezers that we have today. But we've also.
So what's the reason for which people used to come to Birka? Well, one of the main reasons is that the soil was very fertile and they could grow food. There were plenty of trees, as we see even today. There are some cherry trees, and people just are still growing cereal and other
And
things.
if you've been to the Sweden marketplace, you know that being able to actually grow anything here and get it cheap is incredible.
Yes. Hey, look, I found a Viking on the Birka Island.
I'm going to raid you.
Oh my god, you're that kind of
plunder.
Viking. I'm gonna run now. Run. Look, there's a cross from Christianity time. I will go there and I'll be saved.
That's what you think.
This is me running right now. I'm running away from the Vikings. How did you survive for like 1,000 years?
You know, plenty of fresh fish. Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, you do a bit of exercise, walking the hills. You know, tourists, because tourists give you some money, and yeah.
So you don't
easy.
plunder anymore now?
No
You
rea-
beg.
There's no real reason to plunder anymore. You know. It's,
Then you're not a Viking anymore.
maybe
You're
yeah.
a
I
beggar.
don't do, I don't do Viking anymore. I do begging. I do begging.
Hmm. What's your main story there when you beg?
It's you know, look at the poor Viking. It's kind of thin. It's a bit hungry.
Do you also fish?
I do sometimes, but the begging's pretty keeps me supplied. But yeah, fishing, last resort.
So you make like 3,000 euros per month or more?
It's hard to discuss that, but in Sweden you have to, otherwise there's not all the fish in the world are gonna help you survive in Sweden.
Do you also brew your own alcoholic beverage?
Absolutely, because I'm not gonna depend on the system of Bolaget to purchase my alcohol, make it myself.
Do you also sell it?
Do you know what? Not yet, but it's in the works. Viking ale.
Okay. Do you like visiting this place on your island?
It's the fucking Christians, man. Fucking ruined it for everyone. Do you know the Christians that came here, they were actually from Germany. When they realized that the ale here wasn't nearly as good, they just went back.
So, on this beautiful island, you also have this cross, which is a reminder of the monk that the Germans sent at some point 1,000 years ago to, convert to Christianity the local population of farmers on Birka Island. Unfortunately, as our guide just explained, he did not succeed to convert more than a handful of people, and they basically, let him go back home after 1 year or so, and then they destroyed the church that he built, and basically that was it. But at some point, I'm not sure when, somebody built this cross just as a reminder that the monk was here and that they tried to convert the people to Christianity. And it's like a monument and one of the things to do on the island. There's also a church, but the church was just built in 1930, something like that, just across on the other part of this hill, and you can visit that. Apparently it says the story of the monk inside the church. Yes, Edward.
But he did manage to lose a few hundred handwritten Bibles that came in handy to the Vikings, because they just sold them back to the church.
Yeah, and on his way here, apparently his ship was attacked by Vikings, which were obviously some sort of pirates, and on the ship there were some Bibles which were handwritten at the time, and the Vikings stole the Bibles, and later on they sold the Bibles back to the Germans on during their trading route on one of their trading trips, and that's how things were back then. Let's see the cross now. And a short introduction right there. On that part used to be the village in Birka, right next to the sea, and on the other side, like more into inside the island, are all the graves. So right there behind me, right by the sea, used to be the Birka Village, where all the farmers and people used to live, and on the other side of the hill is which is today an agricultural field, used to be the graveyard.
The thing is that there are actually more people buried here than people who actually lived here. And she told us it's because it was such an important place that people will come from all over the world to die here. And basically they found like an Irish lady. She was like a fighter, like
A warrior.
She found her buried here with her horses. But the thing is, if you see like a mound, so a mound is like a small hill, and there are a lot of small hills here, chances are
It's a grave.
it's a grave.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Apparently there are also some apple trees, and we're gonna try this. It's really raw.
Is it sweet?
I
gotta
think-
give it a few more months.
Yeah, in a few more months it's gonna be winter. So
But is this the first time you actually saw fruit trees in Sweden?
Mhm.
Pretty much, right? Nasty.
This is very sour. It's like worse than lemon.
That's good.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
This is the Viking dessert.
I think it's got stuck in my throat or something.
It's like very sweet, right?
Yeah.
So we are walking across the field, what used to be Birka Village, as I said a couple of times already, and a graveyard right here, where used to be a lot of monks, I think, but they turned it into, agricultural land, and
It's called the Black Earth.
this one is called the Black Earth.
Yeah, so maybe, Black Earth, think that which other things grow.
Yes, that is correct. So probably they decided that, they need food. That's more important than, preserve their graveyard. So, but at some point they're gonna dig out the graves. They just need, the right permits and stuff. Apparently funding is also a problem here. But who knows? So that was a church. You can visit it. You can visit the church. There's nobody there. It's for free and it's quite small. But if you have the time, yeah, for sure. Now we have to hurry back to the boat to make sure we're not left on the island. So let us run. And some sour, dark cherries. Is it poison?
I don't know yet, but it's actually really good. It's sweetish. It has a lot of flavor. It's like really earthy.
Edward, show me. So I think this is one of the reasons for which you have so long hands.
Basically, I'm a giraffe.
Delicious. These are actually my favorite cherries. They're so good. It's basically a free meal, saving ourselves some euros. Last stop is the Viking Village. We have roughly 5 minutes to see it before we have to return to the boat. Let's see it. inspired meals, like meatballs with boiled potatoes, and berries, and pancakes with jam and whipped cream. Wow. Vegan beetroot steak. I bet that's the Viking meal, the vegan one. I will put this where it belongs. Here. I have my own place.
Every Viking needs a home.
Here in the mountains, yes, seems
Yes.
appropriate. Also, you're one of a kind. All the Vikings live up here in the north, but you're somewhere from a distance.
I'm a volcanic Viking.
So 3 hours and a half are done on the island, and now we're boarding the boat back to Stockholm. 2 more hours to go. The boat looks pretty crowded, and Eddie wants a beer. Look, let's take a look at the selection.
The one we had on the facilities.
This is a royal imported beer. You're drinking beer from Czech Republic.
Yes, I brought my own Czech Republic beer and I'm drinking.
So look at me. I got my Viking. I'm taking him back home. So it was a fruitful visit in Birka Island. On our way back, we were probably the last to board, right?
We were, yes.
Yes, so that means that we have no more seats.
But that means we were able to steal some cherries.
On the island, we did that is because well, we found some cherry trees, and on our way back to not let the boredom get to us, we decided to get something to drink because they do sell beer and wine on this cruise ship ferry. So I'm having a glass of rosé wine. This is probably extremely full. This is one of the fullest rosé wine I've had. It's also like 10 euros or something,
A small Czech beer,
which is like 6 euros.
which normally Kusovice, you know, in the Czech Republic, would I drink this? Highly unlikely. Here,
Amazing.
heaven.
Yes. We decided to sit on sun deck on the way back because it's quite empty now because it's really cloudy and windy, and there are a lot of families with small children, and they decided to stay inside, and that's really crowded. Also, I got this a wine with me, and everybody was a bit looking a bit judgmental, I would have said. Yes, at us, because apparently in Sweden drinking in public it's not really, it is allowed, it's legal since they sell it here, it's not really, you know, encouraged, and frankly quite frowned upon because they have this awful fear of becoming an alcoholic. That's why you don't find alcohol everywhere, and usually when you find it, it's either really like soft beer, weak beer, or very expensive.
I agree. That's why I took advantage of the bar downstairs and got myself a strong beer. Strong beer. The whole strong beer. It's a 5.0. So, yeah, extremely strong.
Yep, and everybody was looking at us. And we're back in Stockholm. It's 20 minutes to 6, so that's roughly 8 hours. We started at 10 a.m. Here we are where we started. So our verdict about the yes, apparently it's contagious. Our verdict about the Birka Viking trip is that it's nice, a bit pricey. It's like 45 euros per person, but it has everything included, like the boat both ways, and then the museum and the guided tour.
Not the beer though.
The beer, no. It's really nice if you're into Vikings. If you're here in July, you're gonna see like people trying to bring back to life the Viking lifestyle, which is not actually Viking. It's like the farmers on the island that sometimes would go and do the Viking
So
stuff.
Viking is like a verb. It's not a
Exactly.
It's not a group of people.
Yeah. It's not like a
It's like saying
culture
to-
thing. It's like a job.
To steal. What are they?
Yeah.
Thieves.
And trade occasionally, and then they would come back
Plunder.
and then be regular farmers once again. Anyway, so I would say if you're into Viking stuff, then definitely it's worth it. Come during the summer, of course, and also try to go on a sunny day so you can enjoy the trip more. Otherwise, you're gonna freeze a bit, because today there are like 20 degrees or less, and it's a bit cold. It was really difficult to stay on the sun deck because there was no sun. Anyway, Eddie's a Viking, a true Viking fan, and he kind of loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for watching.
I'm scared of the Viking sandwich. I'm gonna go have a Viking sandwich, and that by far seems like the scariest thing I've faced today.
Thank you for watching, and join us on our next adventure here in the Scandinavian territory. See you next time.